Okay, I'm going to show you how I pull the lines, or start pulling the lines into the floor. Now this is the camera's at a little bit of an angle, so the perspective is a little bit skewed. You can see here along the edge of the painting that it's at an angle. But what I do is begin with is to start the angle of my first line. In my initial drawing, I had the perspective all drawn out from my vanishing point. But just to help get my first line, guideline straight, I just take a straight edge and just press it into the paint at my bottom of my stair is the correct angle. And so I just lightly press this into my wet paint of the floor. So I just have a little bit of a guideline. And now I have to wipe the edge of this off, so next time I use it I don't pull paint into my line, but keep that clean. But that's how I get that first guideline. And now I have to be careful here because I got that line into my wall, which is still wet. So I just kind of clean that out. I don't see anywhere else that I got into that was wet. And now taking this is called a fine liner brush. It's for sign painting and just to make fine lines. I begin pulling my lines, and I'm using a mixture of my mud, which again 2 parts ultramarine blue plus 1 part of alizarin crimson plus liquid original, and I just pull these into the wet paint. I need to do this. I do this while the floor is still wet. It would be really hard to do this if I waited until the floor was dry, because just trying to get over all the little humps and bumps of the texture of the paint would just be really difficult to do. But this is how I establish that first line. Once I get the first line in there, the rest are pretty simple to do. Takes practice. First time I couldn't do it just totally. And as I come around, the lines are going to get a little further apart at the foreground because of the perspective all goes back to a vanishing point, and so things fan out as they come closer to the foreground. But I just kind of visually eyeball where this will come and just again start. And it takes practice to get this. And the lines, if you put a ruler to all of them, they're not going to be perfectly straight. But this is, again, this is an old floor, the tiles are irregular, and so doesn't have to be perfectly straight, thank goodness. 100-year-old floors, 200-year-old floor, 300-year-old floor is not going to be straight. And I just start working. They're all going to be the same width at the back. And as you see, I just start making them get a little bit wider as we come forward. And the nice thing about working wet into wet is if I have a line that I maybe am not happy with the direction it's going, I can just paint it out and start over. I can erase. This has taken years to develop and learn to do this, but you can, with practice, you can get it. Oh, now that one went a little off. So I can just paint that out. I get a mulligan, I get a do-over. There we go. And this little portion of it is actually on the tape, but I'll block that out. Then I start doing, those are the perspective lines, and then the horizontal lines, as they come further, they get further apart. So we just and I keep my arm pretty straight. I pull from my shoulder and that makes it easier to make these lines straight. I turn my body to and I'll just continue this all the way down as I come forward to the foreground. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but this gives you an idea of how I do the floors. And the light comes in at a different angle. I don't want the light to come in at the same angle as my lines. I want the light to come at an angle to them. Hope that makes sense. If you like seeing my paintings, please visit my blog. The link is in the description below. I do show the complete step-by-step process as I do a painting. And I don't have videos on everything, but I do show the entire process on my blog. The link's in the description below. And if you subscribe, you'll get an email every time I make a new post. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. So I want to thank you for following along today. You have a great day, and today take an opportunity to be nice to somebody. Now that we're not having to wear masks in some areas of the country, give them a smile. You don't know how a smile may change someone's whole day, but be kind to people and just go out of your way to do something nice for someone. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you again. I really appreciate you, and you're very important to me. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments section. And again, happy painting.